Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, we're discussing a model launched in 2016 and made as a limited edition of 500 pieces from Hublot. This is the second generation Big Bang Ferrari. The first generation marked a collaboration between Hublot and the famous sports car and race car manufacturer from Maranello. But for 2016, Hublot sought to make the watch a bit more organic, automotive-inspired, and graceful. And while nothing this big can ever be considered traditionally elegant, they do a good job of integrating a few marks of distinction that do make it a, let's say, highly refined elephant. That's the best way to describe it. It's an elephant that can dance with grace. And it is an elephant. At 270 grams, this is way over half a pound and approaching 10 ounces. Deeply, deeply, deeply impressive. So it really has mass, in addition to its Zaftig class. Now let's take a look at the size of it. It's 45 millimeters in diameter, but it wears a little bit larger, 17.1 millimeters thick, and then 57.3 from lug tip to lug tip, made a bit larger by the presence of this bracelet, which is a rare and expensive upgrade that was not standard on the model. So taking a quick look on my wrist, it's too big for me. And you can see part of that is the span of the case, but part of that is also the extension of the end links of the bracelet. So I recommend you have a wrist of at least 18 centimeters circumference to wear this well, maybe even 19. It doesn't feel as thick as it is, but I know intellectually that it is in fact over 17 millimeters, and it's probably going to cause just about every cuff to get hung up. But then again, you don't call a watch Ferrari unless it is in some way excessive. The bracelet's a lovely piece. Now, what's interesting here is that the watch itself can be interchanged with rubber straps, calf straps, alligator straps. There are many options with this push-button release system, which is automotive-inspired, and so Hublot can provide you with any of those straps, and there are tons and tons and tons of them. I know that Hublot keeps a vault in every major market full of straps ready to dispatch to customers, so this little quick-change system does become very practical given the huge array of options you're going to have. Now, taking a quick look at the bracelet, it's a fascinating piece. On the inside, it's entirely lined with rubber, and it has pockets to create a little bit of ventilation. You can see that this is a combination of black titanium and ceramic and gold, with a little bit of rubber as well for an easier, more comfortable fit. This thing is simply stacked. There's a lot of material here. The ceramic would be these intermediate links externally. Now take a look at the way these links are executed. See these little facets? The attention to detail is excellent. The same facets exist on the ceramic components. So also notice the contrast between the media blast of the ceramic and then the brushed grain of the gold. Hublot really thought about this and thought carefully. You could see we have several removable links on each side of this bracelet, so you'll be able to fine-tune and get the proper fit. Taking a look at the clasp, you can see it is blackened titanium hardware. One side closes before the other. It's a twin trigger release. You have to press them both for it to pop open. And we've got the Hublot logo externally. Taking a look at the case, you can see we have these polymer inserts, including a bezel gasket that's now profiled to match the undulations of the bezel atop. You can see it has sort of a frosted, grained finish that contrasts with the alternating satin and polish of the bezel. You can see that the little wells for the bezel fixing screws, they now have a little bit of relief externally. So we have this sort of, we'll get really close here, we have this recess around each screw that features a media blast. So you have polish, satin, and media blast. And then you can see each one of these little screws has an H pattern to remind you that Hublot made it. Taking a quick look, you can also see that these are all gloss polished and blackened screws. Taking a look at the caseband, we have these strakes like you might find on the ventilation ports of Ferrari racing cars. We have the Ferrari logo. You can see that we have the little push-button release system for the bracelet, and I'll just demonstrate how easy it is to put these back together. Very simple, just like a seatbelt buckle. Reprofiled crown side where you can see there's more media blast and there's a little bit of a curvature, a little bit of a grace, a little bit of a almost organic undulation to the profile around the crown, and that on both sides. Now you can see there's this little color strip on the crown, which is polymer wrapped. It lines up with the red polymer insert on the flank. So this is a 1/4 turn crown. It's a 100-meter water resistant watch. What you do is you get it into its position, and then it only takes a 1/4 turn to lock it and then a 1/4 turn to pop it out for use. Taking a look at the dial, you can see that we've got a little bit of luminescence where it counts. You can read this watch pretty easily in the dark, no questions there. Radially arrayed numerals, the numeral font as well as the indices in the hands designed to echo the appearance of instruments on the dashboard of a Ferrari. We have a little air extractor style motif for the running seconds. And then we have something that looks like the instrumentation you would find on the binnacle of a Ferrari car. And if you notice carefully, we've got a 60-minute chronograph register, which is an uncommon thing on chronographs. And then we've got this little yellow panel that highlights the sort of skeletonized element of the date wheel that sits atop it. And I'll demonstrate the quick set for the date right now. So you can see that's how you read the date right there. And the disc is visible all the way around the dial. And that little yellow patch is a lot like what you will find within the registers on Ferrari cars. Take a quick look one more time. And you can see that the minute register of the chrono, as well as the tip of the chrono seconds hand, are luminescent. All right. Also important to note, you can see the cavallino rampante at the bottom, the rampant horse that was the logo of Ferrari from the Scuderia Ferrari days. Back before Enzo even had a car company, he had the racing team, and Scuderia Ferrari was actually the factory Alfa Romeo campaign squad before Enzo had cars under his own name. This was in the pre-war era. Now you can see it's also rose gold to match the rest of the watch. Looking below that, you can see that this Unico caliber is almost like an inverted chronograph. Instead of having all the fun stuff on the back, it's on the dial side. Taking a quick look, you can see the lateral clutch, and then below that, the column wheel. The column wheel sits just below the horse, and you can see it moving. It's actually got an H pattern screw on its top, but you can see the lateral clutch moving into and out of contact with the driving center wheel, and then you can see the column wheel in operation. Now, what I can also say here is that it's a flyback chrono. So if you need to time events that occur in rapid succession, you don't have time to maybe stop, reset, restart. With a flyback, boom, reset and restart instantaneously. The column wheel feel is excellent, and I have to compliment Hublot in that regard. So we've got hacking, quick set, flyback action, and dial side chronograph mechanism. We're going to pop the bracelet off one more time. Take a look at the movement. Now, the Unico has been upgraded over the years. There have been internal changes, but the fundamentals remain the same. 4 Hz beat rate, automatic winding, 72-hour power reserve, flyback chrono, hacking, quickset, what they call full adjustment, which I take to mean 5 positions. That is typically what you see on a chronometer or a high horology watch like Lange or Vacheron. 6 is quite uncommon. The movement is large, and as you can see, it properly fills this case back. They're going with a sort of nickel anthracite finish. Everything's matte, everything's dark, everything's grayscale, either gray, black, or silver. There is a escapement in silicon, which minimizes the amount of lubrication that needs to be used there, which improves the performance in between servicings and helps to extend those service intervals. The movement is large and fills the case back. If you get very close, you can also see that the ball bearing balls are made of ceramic to improve the winding efficiency. And this is the HUB 1243. The original was the 1240, so incremental changes, many of which are too small and detail-oriented to affect the bare specifications of the caliber, which do not change. There is a lot to love here, and again, at almost 10 ounces imperial, it's a lot of watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.